A WWE star is leaving the company, and we're going to talk about that. Plus, in addition to that, a massive announcement from AEW. Super exciting stuff there. It's all coming up right here on the Ango Show. So I want to kick things off talking about Pat McAfee leaving the WWE, because we all have seen Pat McAfee come and go. And then it leads to a surprise return where he does commentary. We saw him wrestle Gunther. This is a guy who has really established a brand and a presence outside of WWE even before joining the WWE. And it's actually been a really fascinating thing to see, because when Pat McAfee quit the first time and then he came back, it's not like he quit the company and wasn't working with the company. It was just he always had to go do other things. And I am a huge fan of Pat McAfee, and sometimes that's not the popular opinion on this app, but I have noticed more time and time again that every time Pat McAfee takes a break, it kind of disrupts the commentary team. There's always a shakeup and things of that nature. And personally speaking, I'm not a fan of that. And this is nothing against Pat McAfee. It's a rigorous schedule. He's got a family. He's got crazy business stuff that he's working on outside of WWE. He's not really needed in the WWE. And that's okay. There's literally nothing wrong with that. But he did reveal on Instagram, he was asked about a WWE return, and he basically feels like it's passed him by. And he's basically saying never say never, but he's also basically saying like he's done with WWE. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't really see an issue with that. I find a little bit more fascination with Pat McAfee's situation, because I feel like in a way he was kind of like the first celebrity to be involved with WWE from his time in NXT to the main roster. He was kind of like the first celebrity to kind of, do commentary, do some wrestling, find opportunities within the company while still being able to have a lot of responsibility outside of it. And then, of course, his Pat McAfee show has done amazing things, and he's gone on to do amazing things. And there's literally nothing wrong with that. But I feel like he kind of set the tone for WWE to utilize people in a full-time capacity while they still have other outside projects, which was not something that we would typically see in professional wrestling. So with Pat McAfee basically saying he's done with WWE, I'm not mad at it. I really do wish him the best. I really hope things go well. But I just think it's important for people to understand that it's not necessarily a bad thing when you consider the disruption that sometimes it causes. But he's a great commentator, and I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think he does make things hype. What I would like to see is, from time and time again, I would like to see Pat McAfee come off for a one-time appearance, or, do a WrestleMania, do commentary for one WrestleMania match, or whatever it may be, whenever it's available. But it sounds like he's done. It doesn't sound like he's coming back, and I don't blame him. I pretty much understand why. All right, I want to turn our attention to this huge, massive announcement that WWE's biggest competitor has made. We are talking about AEW and the launch of My AEW, which is a new streaming service for AEW fans. And honestly, I have been waiting for AEW to do something like this, but the problem is it's not available to fans in the United States of America or Canada. Unless you use nordvpn.com/Ango, then you can get access to this. Now, for those who don't know what is going on here, AEW, My AEW, is a fast channel for free in the international markets where you can watch old AEW content for free. Now, in America, the way to compare this would be something like Roku. If you get a Roku stick, there's something called Fast Channel, where there's a whole bunch of shows that are on like a 24/7 replay. Basically, that's what this is, but for international users, where they can watch old episodes of AEW content. Now, what's beautiful about this, and this is the thing that's actually making me extremely happy about their choice to do this, is the fact that AEW has pricing tiers for AEW fans to have access to more content. So these tiers actually include, which, by the way, I'm going to throw the image up on the screen, but for $7.99 a month, you can watch the AEW Fast Channel. You get access to AEW podcasts, AEW Dynamite and Collision live, Ring of Honor Club, Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and of course the AEW TV archive. Now, with that being said, for $19.99, you get access to one AEW pay-per-view airing during the current month, and all the other perks that you get from the monthly of $7.99, but you also get select pay-per-view archives as well. And then if you want, you can do the annual, which is $120, which is the same exact thing, but you could pay it just one time for an entire year. I think this is actually cool, bro. I think this is great. I've been saying AEW needs to do something like this. And I actually think this is beneficial for AEW to start growing and to start building, because the reality is this. We don't know what's going to happen with their TV deal in America. We can sit here, we can speculate, we can talk, we can read things, but nobody really knows what's going to happen with the Ellison family buying WBD for Paramount. We know Paramount and HBO Max will merge. We know that the Ellison family has very close ties to Ariel Emanuel, who owns TKO, and TKO is obviously WWE and UFC. There is a lot of speculation that AEW could kind of be screwed in America when it comes to their TV deal. We don't know. We're still figuring things out, and it's going to be a while till we find out. But if AEW, my AEW specifically, turns out to work very well and the success of it is great, guys, don't be shocked if you see AEW eventually bring that to America. Because if they lose their HBO Max TV deal, streaming deal, all those things, this could be the way to do it. This reminds me very much of the old WWE network, and I love that. And I think professional wrestling absolutely needs it. And I think AEW introducing that is a huge, massive win. And it seems like this could be to prepare for the future. And for international fans who had Triller before, know exactly how beneficial this is. But like I said, if you use nordvpn.com/Ango, you actually have the ability to watch this in America as well. So just kind of keep that in mind moving forward. Okay, I want to turn our attention to another topic, and this would actually be the return of Dakota Kai. Fascinating news here. Dakota Kai, now going by the name of Charlie, has returned to professional wrestling at the Wrestle Queendom 8 event, and she competed against Chris Statlander. This was really cool. She fought her for the Eve International Championship. This was her first match since being released by the WWE in May 2025. So literally, 10 months ago? That's the last time we saw her wrestle. Pretty insane to think about. And just a quick reminder of how quick time has gone since then. But she was awesome. This match was awesome. A lot of fans on Twitter, especially because I obviously don't, I live in America. I couldn't go there and watch it. But a lot of people were talking about how this match was so good. A lot of people were really happy about it. With that being said, Chris Statlander did retain the belt, but apparently this was a really, really good match. I saw somebody on Twitter post a clip. There was 3 pile drivers just to end the match, which was really awesome. But this is really huge. The big story here, though, is Wrestle Queendom has a lot of ties to AEW. I could be wrong here, but if I remember correctly, Will Ospreay is one of the agents for this company. Clearly ties to AEW. Don't be shocked if we see Dakota Kai, now known as Charlie, show up in AEW at some point. I think it is very realistic, very possible, and it is something I would actually like to see. I think she would be great in AEW. First and foremost, I do want her to be healthy in professional wrestling, because I feel like she's had a couple setbacks and a couple issues here and there when it comes to injuries, but she is a fascinating talent. That's what I would like to see. Ultimately, who knows what will happen? We don't know if a contract will be offered. We don't know if maybe she already signed a contract. Just a month ago, we were talking about how there are several people signed to the company who have yet to even debut for the company. So just make that of what you will or whatever. But yeah, definitely some cool stuff happening there, man. I want to see it all. I want to see it happen. I want to see how it all goes down, and hopefully it all works out. So yeah. Let's show TNA a little bit of love, because they have re-signed a major star in their company. I'm so excited about this, guys. A lot of confusion. I think a lot of people were curious to know if he was going to AEW. We are talking about Steve Maclin. Steve Maclin, his wife, Deonna Purrazzo, works for AEW and Ring of Honor. We saw in Feast or Fired that he was fired. Then on Impact, we saw him come back. He's been reinstated. Well, TNA has officially confirmed that he has re-signed with the company. The former TNA World Champion is not leaving TNA anytime soon. Steve Maclin had agreed to terms on a new contract extension with the company, keeping him beyond 2026. We don't know if it's a multi-year contract or anything like that. We've heard time and time again that AEW or TNA, excuse me, does a lot of per appearance deals. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see what sort of details arise on that. But Steve Macklin's an awesome talent, man, and I've spoken so highly about Steve Macklin for many years. And I don't know if AEW has done a great job with some of the TNA talent they've brought in. So I don't know if Steve Macklin would have followed suit. You know, there's always that opportunity where he could have joined Josh Alexander and the Don Callis family, but I think, you know, AEW has kind of been trying to get a lot of TNA talent, especially since they got their TV deal. And they don't even really have to try because they offer a lot of money and things of that nature. But I think for Steve Macklin, it's kind of hard, right? You see Deonna Purrazzo go to AEW and Ring of Honor and not really do much, and that's your wife. And there's always that benefit of working with your wife, right? But I think for Steve Macklin, staying in TNA is the right call. And when they need a heel to be world champion, I think he is that guy, and he should be. I think it would be very foolish for TNA not to build the company around him and Mike Santana. So I definitely look forward to seeing what they do there. But definitely a big day for TNA, a big day for AEW, and a big day for WWE. So make sure you guys click subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys next time.